guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to a random lifestyle vlog. If you're new here, my name is Paulina. This channel is all about beauty that includes skincare, makeup and fragrances. And today I have something a little bit different because I'm going to show you my fragrance empties. And it's not very much of a surprise, obviously. I have lots of fragrances, so it is pretty difficult to use up the whole bottle of a fragrance. But I think I did pretty well. I have quite a few fragrances here in this box. I'm obviously going to show you like full-size fragrances and some minis. And by minis, I mean 10 ml or so. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in. So I'm going to start with this fragrance over here. This is La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier, and I love this fragrance. This is such a beautiful ambery vanilla with this very prominent pear note. But what I like about this fragrance is that this pear here, it's just not your typical pear. Usually pear adds a lot of like airiness, lightness to the fragrance. Here it's completely not the case. This is like a very strong, heavy, almost syrupy scent. I love it, but I don't think I'll be repurchasing it anytime soon. And it's only because I still have a pretty much full-size bottle of La Belle Le Parfum, which is a flanker of this scent, and to be honest, they're very similar. I mean, there are some differences, but I would say these fragrances are similar enough so that I don't really need both of them in my collection. Okay, so that's the first fragrance. Now we're moving on to two Ariana Grande fragrances. So I'm going to start with Cloud, probably the most popular Ariana Grande scent, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, this is a really nicely made fragrance. It's inspired by Baccarat Rouge by Francis Kurkdjian, but this fragrance is sweeter, creamier, it has this coconut note. So I would describe it as more feminine version of Baccarat Rouge. Baccarat Rouge is a unisex fragrance. This one definitely leans a little more feminine. I actually really enjoy this scent, but again, I'm not going to be repurchasing this anytime soon. I still have this big bottle of Cloud Intense, and again, these two fragrances are pretty similar. But if I'm to be honest, I think I slightly prefer the original fragrance over the intense one. Anyway, still I don't think I need to repurchase this one for a while. And then we have R.E.M. and this is one of my most favorite fragrances by Ariana Grande. It's this lovely mixture of lavender and some mouth-watering gourmand notes. It's just good, you know. I think I might repurchase this fragrance at some point. I don't feel the urge to like replace it like straight away, but maybe in a few months I'll feel like I need to add this back to my collection. Definitely one of those fragrances I really enjoyed using, especially before my bedtime. Next up we have another celebrity fragrance. This is Katy Perry's Indivisible, and this was actually a really beautiful fragrance. It was this boozy vanilla coconut scent with some musky notes, really lovely, but it didn't last at all. Like the lasting power was like literally next to none. I mean, on the other hand, this was like a very inexpensive fragrance. I think I paid like below £10 for this bottle, so I guess you can respray multiple times a day and it's still fine, but to be honest, this is probably the reason why I wouldn't repurchase it. Like, I'm not too fussy, but I really like my fragrance to last at least 4 hours after I spray it. This one lasted like an hour maybe. So yeah, really pleasant fragrance, but unfortunately it didn't last. Next up we have Shawn Mendes Signature. I really like this one too. This is dulce de leche with pineapple. There is some maple syrup I think in that too. So it was like a really lovely gourmand fruity scent. I really enjoyed that, but I think one bottle was enough. I think I'm done with this fragrance now. Now we're moving on to a fragrance I might have to purchase, and this is Dear Polly by Wilhelm Parfumerie, and oh my god, I love it. This smells like the most exquisite Earl Grey tea ever. It's just so good. I mean, I do have a fragrance that's slightly similar to this one, and it's by Lady Gaga. I'm not sure what the name of that one was, but it is slightly similar. It also has this kind of like Earl Grey vibe, but I think this one was better. So it has apple and bergamot in top notes, black tea in middle notes, and then base notes of black amber, musk, and oak moss. And I think this is such a stunning composition. I love it. So yeah, that one might reappear in my collection in a bigger size soon. Next up we have two of those Baccarat Rouge minis, and one of them is the regular eau de parfum and the other one is the extrait de parfum. So a bit stronger concentration, and to be honest, I liked both of them equally. As for whether I'm going to repurchase this like in a full-size bottle, to be honest, I don't think I will. This fragrance turned out to be so inspirational. There's so many fragrances created that resemble this fragrance that I feel like I'm kind of like slightly over it. I mean, I love this fragrance in general, like both of these, They're amazing, and there's nothing that smells exactly like that, but I think the general vibe of this fragrance, it's been a little bit overdone these days. Next up we have My Way Parfum. I love this fragrance. So this is this beautiful tuberose scent but with iris. So it's not for everyone, it's powdery, it's quite mature, but it is so beautiful. And I actually already purchased a full-size bottle of this fragrance. Next up we have Commodity Milk. And this is something I will have to repurchase, unfortunately. I love it too much. This is just so good. This is a perfect fragrance for winter or like colder weather, in my opinion. It is just so stunning. It's this musky, slightly woodsy, lactonic scent. I just can't. It's so good. I need this in my collection. Next up we have some Cheyenne Blue, and this is Black Tulip. And I mean, I do like this fragrance. It's a beautiful composition of plum, white chocolate, some woodsy notes. It is really good, but to be honest, I don't think I will miss this fragrance. So I'm not going to repurchase that. I think there are other plum fragrances that I probably prefer, but it was definitely a good one. Okay, so it seems like I was pretty happy with like most of the fragrances so far. So now I'm going to show you a fragrance I did not like at all. This is Moschino Toy 2. And I honestly don't like anything about this fragrance. I don't think I like the perfumes of this brand in general. The packaging, not really my thing. The scent, it's just like this generic fruity floral, nothing really interesting to be honest. So no, definitely I won't be repurchasing this one, and I doubt I will buy a Moschino fragrance in the future. I mean, never say never, right? They might actually release something that I will like, but I tested several of the fragrances so far and nothing tickled my fancy. Anyway, let's move on to a fragrance that I actually quite liked. By the way, it kind of makes sense that in my empties you will see fragrances I actually enjoyed mostly, because these are the ones I tend to use up the quickest, so that kind of makes sense. So anyway, here we have Juliette Hazeghan, and this is Lipstick Fever, and I really like this one. It's this powdery raspberry. It has some iris and violet as well. The name kind of suggests how it's going to smell, Lipstick Fever. So it's kind of like a old school, like vintage makeup kind of scent. It is good. I've seen it's still available on some UK websites, so this one is probably going to join my collection soon. Next up we have Ellis Brooks, and this is Myth. And to be honest, this is like a very clean fragrance. So I used it up when I was exercising. So, you know, the kind of like a gym scent. Very clean, musky fragrance. Definitely not something I will purchase, but I'm generally not a massive fan of those kind of like clean laundry scents. And this is what it is. And then the last fragrance in today's video is this guy over here. This is Mitchell & Peach Flora number 1. And to be honest, I actually quite like this fragrance, but not for daytime use. This was my bedtime scent. It's this floral fragrance with this very pronounced fennel note, which makes it quite interesting. It adds some of that kind of like a calming quality to it. So yeah, I did enjoy it, but definitely not something I would repurchase, because I don't necessarily need another bedtime fragrance in my life. I mean, if there's one that I would repurchase, it would be the R.E.M. by Ariana Grande, because it's just good. But other than that, I'm fine. I have quite a few of those fragrances I use before my bedtime. Anyway guys, this is everything in my fragrance empties. What do you think? Thank you very much for watching. For more fragrance related content, check those videos over here. I'm going to see you very soon. Take care. Bye.